Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Off the Cuff with me, your host, Kaylin. I am so excited to be back today. Today, I guess I'm just going to go over motherhood and being 16 months deep into it. I just took some time off to really get in the swing of motherhood, finding my rhythm, and just kind of giving myself the privacy and the time to really develop bond between me and baby. And just it's a completely different lifestyle being a parent, and those of you who are parents who watch this know exactly what I'm talking about. So if you do hear Carson, he is in his room playing with daddy, so he is okay. So I had just recently rewatched my video, and I seen that I had talked about recovering from preeclampsia. So I was able to stop taking my medication 6 weeks postpartum. It was actually 3 days after my birthday. Shortly after that time, I actually started to experience hip pain, and I ended up seeking the same physical therapist who does all my pelvic floor work, and we were able to work on my hips. I don't know exactly why. When you're pregnant for 9 months, sometimes things can lean more towards one side than the other. Carson always laid on my left side, so I was kind of out of whack, but I was quickly able to, bounce back with therapy, and I was able to get back into the swing of things. When it came to intimacy time, I personally wasn't ready until about 7 months postpartum. I know that most people are cleared at the 6-week mark, and I just kind of want to express that if you don't feel ready to kind of get back into the swing of things, don't feel pressure to do that just because you got the green light. I'm not a medical professional, but they don't examine you. They don't actually make sure that everything, at least for me, in my experience, they didn't check anything. I just know that at 6 weeks, typically your postpartum bleed is over and your cervix should be completely closed, even though that happens relatively soon after giving birth. So for me, I wasn't comfortable until about 7 months postpartum, and I was already getting pelvic floor work done before I even attempted it, just because I didn't want to push my body to do something it wasn't ready to do. And I had no idea what state my pelvic floor was in after giving birth. So again, do it when you're ready. That's really the most important, and hopefully your partner should be understanding. So I wanted to talk about some of the biggest challenges that I had within these past 16 months. So a big challenge was I decided to exclusively pump, which is super hard. I was pumping 3 hours around the clock. I was basically getting no sleep. My sanity was nowhere to be found. And I was very prone to clogs. So if I waited 15 minutes past my alarm being ready or letting me know, hey, it's time to go pump, I had tons of clogs. I was in a lot of pain. I was very lucky that I didn't end up getting mastitis, but it was really painful. So I exclusively pumped for 3 weeks with the intention to feed, and then it actually took me 6 weeks to wean from pumping due to me just being so prone to clogs. I tried, the lettuce, and nothing really worked for me other than slowly spacing out my pumping sessions, and it was just a very timely and exhausting process. Lack of sleep, especially the first 8 weeks, it's very normal to kind of experience, why did I want this? And I don't want you to feel like, oh my God, you don't want to be a mom. Of course I do. But sometimes it's such a dramatic life shift that sometimes you do question, like, oh my God, this is a lot. But as time goes on, you start to see it through rose-colored glasses, and it gets better, it gets easier. So if you're someone watching this video and you're literally in the trenches, you're 4 weeks out from giving birth, it does get better. And perhaps one day you might want another one. And I'm looking at my notes here. So another challenge I had was just being tied to a schedule when they're napping all the time, and things change so much from when they're a newborn versus a toddler, because Carson is, 16 months now. But not being able to go do what you want to do, planning grocery shopping and just basic chores that need to get done, it gets very challenging. And sometimes people aren't understanding of working, the boss is the baby. So losing friends and support. I had lost a few friends in my postpartum phase. Dynamics in my relationships have changed greatly. I've been disappointed by a lot of people in my life. A lot of people who I thought were in my corner. A lot of people who I thought were gonna help me through motherhood. And it didn't pan out that way. It's fine. I can do it on my own. But in any big milestone in your life, whether getting engaged, getting married, having children, you find out who is really there for you and who isn't, and it can be a humbling experience, to say the least. Painful, but needed. PPA, postpartum anxiety. I don't believe I was someone who suffered from postpartum depression, although everything lined up greatly, from a hard pregnancy, traumatic birth, to health complications, to not holding my baby, things that just kind of kept me away from that bonding experience, especially right after giving birth. So I was really a perfect candidate for postpartum depression. I'm already an anxious person, so to say I had PPA, I just think it was the anxiety that I already had that just now fixated on my baby. And then it's everything that a child goes through, the sleep regression, the teething, the getting sick, losing sleep because they're up at crazy hours of the night. I actually have gone back to work. I started working back in January of 2022. So I've already been at my job for 7 months now. So Carson had to start daycare, and that was hard because it's just scary trusting anyone with your child. But I absolutely love where he goes. I adore the person who watches him, and Carson really enjoys it. He has friends, and it's all worked out so far, so I'm really grateful for that. But starting daycare, a lot of illness came with that. Cody and I were sick every time that he was sick, pretty much. So basically I started my job at the end of January, so basically from February to May we were sick. And Carson is the only child at his daycare where his parents are not teachers. So once school let out, the kids have been staying home. We've kind of had a hiatus of not being sick, which has been nice. So I'm not really looking forward to the kids going back to school. But parents having to go back to work as teachers, but we'll get through it. So the biggest rewards of being a parent, the first time your baby smiles at you, when they really start interacting, because for so many weeks you're giving and giving and giving, and you're not really getting a whole lot back. So getting a little bit of that glimpse of they're happy, they're starting to feel something towards you, it's really rewarding. Them reaching milestones, even though not all of the core milestones are actually milestones at all, such as crawling. Some babies don't ever crawl, but Reaching milestones is really exciting. What I've learned about Carson is if they give you 12 months to 18 months, he just tends to be on the later part of the parameters of normal, which is fine. I don't know if it has anything to do with him being a boy. Carson is very just go with the flow, and he moves at his own pace, and I love that, and I don't know, it's rewarding. The first time he slept through the night, I couldn't tell you when that was. And there's ebbs and flows in sleep. There'll be weeks that they're sleeping great, and then all of a sudden they'll hit a regression, they're teething. The worst thing that we've been through so far is definitely the molars when it comes to teething. But I mean, Carson has had fevers, teething. We had COVID on Mother's Day weekend, so that was really fun. Considering that we really weren't able to celebrate Mother's Day last year because I was still on my blood pressure medication and all that fun stuff. And the celebrations that we've gotten to do, Carson had went to 3 weddings. We celebrated his birthday. We did a lumberjack theme, and it was at the Metro Park, so we had everybody wear like plaid tops. It was really fun. His cake was a tree stump. It was super, super cute and a really fun day. Even being able to do fun things with him. I mean, this kid has been everywhere. He has been to the zoo. He has been to the aquarium. He has been to this place called Majestic Meadows in Medina, Ohio. It's an alpaca farm, family owned. It's super fun. We're always trying to do fun things with Carson to keep him busy. He's so different than the little baby I birthed. To talk about him a little bit, super laid back, like I said. He is such a joy to be around. Some of the things that he loves the movie Hercules. We're starting to get into Miss Rachel a little bit. He loves going on walks. He's starting to enjoy swimming. He loves food. I don't think there's actually a food he has tried that he absolutely hates, but I don't think he's a fan of broccoli. But we have reached toddlerhood, which is like 1 going on a 3-nager. He has meltdowns over nothing. But just the absolute love of my life. I am so grateful to be his mom, and I love watching him learn and change and just become the amazing person he was meant to be. Cody and I love him beyond words. So I just wanted to give you that little 16-month motherhood update and what's been going on in my life. I have not forgotten about this channel. You all are still very important to me. I will be heading back to physical therapy for my pelvic floor very soon. And I will give updates about that as well, and, you know, kind of just keep you updated along the way. Thank you so much if you have watched this movie in its entirety. I'm not sure when I'll be putting out another video. We have a wedding to go to out of state this coming weekend, so a little nervous for the drive, but I think we're going to have a blast overall. So thank you so much, and I will see you next time.